Hi, everyone. Okay. Wrong pipe. Okay.
It's the right pipe, if you ask me. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are covering episode 6 of The Bad Batch, Decommissioned. I didn't forget it this time. Decommissioned, which is an episode which I'll just give an overview of quickly, and then we'll kind of go over some of our thoughts of the episode. Morgan will give over... Wrong pipe.
Yeah, right pipe. Okay.
Morgan will go over some of the things that he took note of, and then we'll kind of discuss that, and then we'll try to be very brief. Overall, the episode starts with the Bad Batch back where they were in the last episode, with Sid at Sid's bar, but this time Omega is training with her new little crossbow. Bow and arrow, crossbow, kind of whatever. But she's trying to tinker with it, trying to figure out how to operate it. But they're doing this all while in Sid's bar, which in my opinion is a very dangerous place to be doing stuff like that. But whatever, we'll talk about that later. So from that point forward, Sid commissions the Bad Batch to go out and find a security droid, or no, not a security droid, a tactical droid that has important information inside of its head or whatever. And so they go off to Corellia, which is, fun fact, Han Solo's home planet. Yay! Applause for Han Solo's home planet being represented in this episode. A little fun fact that we didn't really catch, or at least I didn't catch until the end of the episode. So we will also talk about that a little bit later, give our thoughts on that. But yeah, they end up on this planet and they find out that the place that they are looking for this tactical droid is heavily guarded by a bunch of security droids, or whatever you want to call them. And they all look like anorexic versions of Bumblebee from Transformers. And so they have to go through the safeguard, and they have to make sure that they're being as careful as possible. But lo and behold, they encounter two characters that appear in apparently Clone Wars, from what Morgan's told me. Do you want to say what the characters' names are?
Trace and Rafa. Yeah.
Yeah. Trace.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I thought I was confident, but I know it's Trace, and I'm like 99% sure it's Rafa.
Right.
Trace and Rafa. Yep. The Martez sisters.
Yes, the Martez sisters. So they encounter the Martez sisters during their raid to get this tactical droid. But turns out that the Martez sisters are after the same exact target. They are trying to get this information for their own very personal reasons, which we don't really find out why they're doing it, but we find out that they are after it, and because of that, there's already a conflict by the time that they get there. On top of that, though, Omega decides to let off her crossbow on accident, which we'll kind of go over. It was an accident, but because of Omega, they end up having to fight off the security droids that are protecting this base in Corellia, and because of that, it leads into a bunch of hijinks, and then the Bad Batch inevitably have to team up with the Martez sisters to get out of there. And so that does happen, and, well, let's just say that everything kind of goes the way that they sort of planned, with some little kinks along the way. But we can kind of talk about those details, right, Morgan?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's get into it. What do you have to say?
All right. Well, I guess just briefly, I want to tell people we watched this episode really quickly and then covered it, and I guess we're rehashing it now.
Yeah.
So it's a little flaky on the details, just so you guys know. But I guess also my dog is just violently wanting to play right now.
Good for him.
All right. I guess the first thing I thought was really funny. We get classic Echo dad humor. Love that. They're embracing that dad humor. When someone asks if there's an Echo in there, and he's like, "Yes, I am Echo."
Mm-hmm. Such a
beautiful, absolutely
great
beautiful.
What a great,
that's great,
necessary exchange in the middle of an episode and in the middle of a heated combat.
I loved it.
So
I loved it.
I hated it. Didn't like.
But yeah, that was the first thing that came to mind. A cool thing that I was thinking about during the episode was that since we're on Corellia, when we're seeing all these decommissioned droids being melted down, it's kind of cool thinking that that's probably going to go towards the Empire and them building their ships. Yeah, I thought that was just kind of a nice nod. Filoni does a good job with those.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was kind of it for that one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
I
Go ahead.
yeah, you nailed it on the head. So like Solo happens to be one of the movies that I think, and I think Morgan thinks as well. It's
Yep,
pretty underrated in terms of all
100%.
this, yeah, all the Star Wars cinematic universe movies. If
Yep,
that's what we want to call them.
yep,
But
yeah, sure.
I think it's super, yeah, it's super underlooked, and it takes place in Corellia at the very beginning, and we get to see kind of a different version of the one that we saw in the movie, which is really cool. I just like to be on that planet, knowing that someday we'll get one of the most iconic characters out of that area. It's just fun. It's a fun little nod without it being like, hey, Han Solo's gonna be from here. It's not like they showed like a young Han Solo being like, hey, let me help you guys on your like mission. Like, no, it wasn't that. It wasn't too fan servicey. It was just perfectly appropriate, and it's cool. Like you said, like that. It's sort of establishing that they're going to be producing or recycling a lot of these droids into what's going to be the Empire. So
Hmm.
really cool detail that I didn't pick up on. So yeah, do you have anything
Yeah,
else?
love that. I'm like trying to not give away that like big one at the very end, but let's see what else. We had some development on Wrecker and his head. Um,
Oh, yeah.
we've been talking about that for the past probably like what is this, episode 6? So
Yeah.
6 weeks, maybe 5. But yeah, we get more development on that. We see Wrecker bonk his head as usual. Happens like at least once an episode. And we kind of see him, like we hear ringing in the background. And then we kind of, it's setting up to see that like a switch is going to happen, right? He starts muttering like good soldiers follow orders, and you kind of see him struggling with that. So I feel like we're going to get the kind of switch that Crosshair had in episode 1. I don't think he's going to go completely bonkers and turn on the team per se, but I really think we're setting up to how Crosshair was kind of like, they told us to kill the Jedi, like let's go kill the Jedi.
Yeah.
Um, so our record's on the way there, and we should see that next episode if they keep focusing on that Bad Batch group instead of Crosshair.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. I'm with you there, man. I think one thing that we mentioned during kind of our debrief of the episode was just some of the love of some of the characters, how we kind of are anticipating or hoping that some of the other characters are going to get a little bit more shine. Because I can't really pinpoint what this episode was really focused on in terms of like any characters. This wasn't really a character development episode, rather than Omega sort of getting her character arc of being useful on the crossbow, and that's pretty much it. Not
this
saying
is
that
where you
she's
edit in. I gotta interrupt you. This is where you insert what you said earlier, right here, right here.
I thought that it just happens that every episode it's because of something that Omega sets off, we end up in the predicament. But I'm saying we need something to happen to propel the plot forward, so it obviously has to be the most untrained person on the team. And yes, she's a child, so there's a lot of forgiveness there. I'm not knocking her character. I think her character's great, and most of these things are mistakes, honest mistakes that any of us would make. I'm just saying it just so happens to be the same character pretty much in every episode. Not knocking her as a character, but just saying. That's a fact. Okay? All right, let's move on. Let's move on before I sound like a jerk to kids. Okay, so I just hope some of the other characters get some shine. You like that little Echo moment. I think Echo is a really like he's a comedic character without having to be like Wrecker, who's just like, oh, look at me, I'm Wrecker. It's just like, he's more than just kind of what he's supposed to be. Like all of them have their own traits. Like I'm the tech guy, I'm the smart guy, I'm the big brute, I'm like the leader and commander, whatever. But I feel like Echo is sort of this character that already has this conflict going on with him, and I think he's really interesting. So I'm just hoping that we get more, because we're 6 episodes in, and I was hoping maybe by now we'd get to touch or highlight some of the other characters. But so far, we've only focused on like a couple members of the Bad Batch. We are getting some development on Wrecker, which is cool. But yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. Something I actually was reading about in between when we watched it and now is like about character development, right? So we have a 16 episode arc, right, for this entire season. And so we feel like it's moving slow, right? But and I know you haven't watched it, but if people watch the Clone Wars today, they would be like every episode review would just be like filler, filler, like filler, like filler.
Yeah.
I think that's just kind of the general style of this show. It's a slow burn, right? Like Clone Wars was literally 7 seasons, and
Yeah.
a lot did happen, yes, but a lot also didn't happen in a lot of those episodes. They're like even Brandon made a good point where one time he asked for like a list of arcs that were actual like contributions to the storyline, because not all of them are, to be honest. And I feel like this show kind of follows that, like except instead of arc, it's just episode.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're gonna get a few that just pack a huge punch. I'm looking at like one, hell, even two, episode 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then so far the rest after that have been kind of just like slowly progressing the plot. But I don't know.
Yeah.
That was my long take around the question.
No, I think I agree with you in the most part. Just being patient is like a big element of these shows. Clone Wars for me was something I was already hesitant about, so when it started off pretty slow, I was already like, all right, this is giving me less reason to finish it, which is why I only got 2 seasons in. So sorry. But yeah, I'll give it a shot someday. I'll
Make
there.
him do it.
Yeah,
one
he'll
day.
make me do it. But yeah, that's like one of the only other points I wanted to bring up about this episode. Do you have anything else?
I mean, we still have that last big part, but I mean, just to like recap really quick, just to make sure we didn't miss anything in the episode, right? Like they go there. I made a point about this earlier, and I want to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
That was super messed up of Sid to just straight grab that bow out of Omega's hand and then flex on her like that.
Yeah.
They just pump out like 3 perfect shots. Like, why are you trying to one up a kid?
Yeah.
Like, I get that Sid's a slimy character, but I didn't also know they were like a douchebag,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say that here, but oops.
No, Sid, you're a douchebag. And also,
douchebag.
if you're so good with the bow, why don't you go on the mission then? Why don't you do your own dirty work, huh?
Yeah,
it's
you
not like
sent
your
Tony and
bar
his
has
friends.
any business, huh? Looks like you have 2 patrons at most. The rest are some clones that you took under your wing, and you're just making them do work for you. Like, what are you got doing, huh? What are you doing, huh? Yeah? And harassing kids because they're not as good at you as you.
At you.
Good at you. That
feel
was
like
yeah.
that would just be the best thing that you could see in the Star Wars universe. Just an Italian walk into Sid's bar and just be like,
Hey,
"You don't have a lot of patrons, like you're clones, long neck and spiky head." That was totally Russian, but yeah,
yeah,
I'm cool with that.
This Italian guy's been everywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, that was really the only other point, I think. So basically, we had the bar. We talked about them going there, the Martez sisters, how they're related in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
The tactical droid. Did you mention that? No, that was the end. That's the last point we wanted to make. Okay, cool. I think that's everything.
Yeah.
Unless you can think of anything, except for the last part.
Yeah.
You gonna dive into it? You ready?
Yes. So the last moment.
Okay.
So the Martez sisters, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah. Okay. So while the Bad Batch and the Martez sisters are in the decommissioning factory, right, where they're melting down those droids, they're arguing over who's going to be able to take the tactical droid, like the database, the information they want to use. And the Martez sisters bring up a point that, like, their cause is more worthy. They're using it to bring down the Empire. And then so right then and there, everyone kind of assumes, like, they're working for something good, right? Like, and basically, as the episode progressed, the head of the tactical battle droid it gets destroyed. But there is a backup copy, and then Hunter ends up giving it to the Martez sisters. And then at the very end of the episode, we see a hologram of their contact and who they're talking to. And there are so many people that this could be, right? At this point in time in the Star Wars timeline, there are so many people trying to fight the Empire just because it's so new. And the first thing that came to my mind, of course, was Ahsoka. We see Ahsoka with the Martez sisters in the beginning of season 7, Clone Wars. Also, I don't know if you can hear that. My dog is totally just going down on it. Okay, here,
That's
hold
fine.
on. Let me take it away from him.
It's barely noticeable.
Okay, I got it. Okay, so we see Ahsoka with the Martez sisters at the very beginning of season 7 in Clone Wars, and so that was my first thought. Then my second thought was Rex. The Martez sisters had made a comment that they've heard that like they've heard a clone say that he's different before, and so I was thinking like, okay, who else? What other clone would be like, I'm different? Immediate thought, Rex. He's going to be in the show somewhere, obviously, but yeah, maybe it was him. And then the final thought that I had right at the end of the episode was that maybe it's not both of these like two like Republic or Rebel heroes. Maybe instead it's a crime syndicate, right? Like they had worked with the Pikes before. Crimson Dawn is a huge player right now in trying to bring the Empire down. We see that in Solo a lot. And so thoughts there could be Maul, Dryden Voss, good old Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There's just so many people it could be right now. I would love for it to be a crime syndicate, right?
Yeah.
That way it sets up like all the viewers are like, woo, they're fighting with the rebels. Like, let's get it. And then instead it's just a selfish, like, we're just trying to make a living out here. And this crime syndicate offered us money.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically what season 7 is in Clone Wars for the first few episodes. So,
yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think Crimson Dawn would be a really cool tie-in to Solo, a movie that feels like it got, like all those doors that they opened at the end of that movie got closed immediately. So it'd be cool to reopen that. I think a crime syndicate would be cool. I think it's, I think they even say like, let him through, patch him through at the end of the episode. So it's got to be a guy or, I don't know, someone who wants to be seen as a guy or something. We'll find out. PC. Yeah, they want to identify as a male, which is awesome. So we'll see. It would be cool if it's Maul. Also, not hoping that it's Maul. Would be cooler if it was Dryden Voss. Like that would be awesome.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah,
especially because he's already been put in the animated series. He's in Clone Wars. They could do it again.
Really?
Just like briefly, like a 1-second cameo.
Oh, what? Was he in like the new season?
Season 7, yeah. He was chatting with Maul.
Even more reason for me to watch that show. Okay, yeah.
Like I don't even think you hear the voice actor. I think he's just like in the far background. It'd be like the equivalent of Thrawn up in like the corner of like the pictures.
Yeah,
that's literally the extent of what you see of him.
Hey, I'm here too. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, hey.
Damn. Okay. That's cool though. So I guess it wouldn't be his like animated debut, but be probably his first speaking role in the animated form. Okay. All right. Oh. But yeah, I'd be happy with any of those. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. Yeah. So overall thoughts on the episode?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I wouldn't say it's one of the best episodes, but it's definitely not the worst. Yeah, we had pretty good plot development. I mean, in terms of like Wrecker's Head, and we've now introduced like a new player in the show, right?
Yeah.
Which is insane considering there are already so many players. Filoni has already added in like an arsenal of pre-existing loved characters into this show. Yeah. So to add another is amazing. But yeah, that's really it. I loved it. Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah. I agree with that sentiment. I thought it had some Attack of the Clones vibes going along with it. We've been referencing it, or at least I've been referencing Attack of the Clones a lot for these episodes, but it's cool. You get to see different sides of different planets that we've been introduced to in the past movies or shows and things like that, other canon. So, yeah, I had no gripes with it. I thought this was one of the better episodes. And, yeah, that's all I got to say. So,
yeah, I think that's it.
That's it. That's it. Ooh, Morgan.
We did it.
We did it. Pop.
Oh, yeah.
High
did it.
five.
I don't think we stuck to the right timer, but we did it. We're still doing good.
It's fine. It's fine. Probably under 20.
All right.
So yeah, you want to sign us out?
I do. All right, guys. Just like every time, I'm going to do this wrong, and you're going to love it. All right, guys. Well, make sure to like, click, and subscribe down below. Never can say that right. Also, make sure you hit the notification button. Leave a like, leave a comment. We really like to hear your feedback. Brandon responds to all the comments in there. He loves the dialogue. He likes engaging with his viewers. So please, leave a comment. Let us know if you agree. Do you disagree? Anything, please. That's really it. I think I covered it. Oh, turn on your notifications. Do that. I always forget that. Unless I totally just said it and then said it again. But yeah, double check. Turn them on. Now I'm done.
Perfect. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you guys so much. And as always, guys, we'll see you sometime in the next video that we are going to do.
Yep.
That's exactly
Let me
how
see
we
if I can
say
get
it every
Charles
time.
to jump up in this one. I can see this.
Get him, Charles.
Come on, Charles. Come on. Did he do it?
Oh!
Yeah! Oh, he's saying goodbye.
Yay!
Look at him.